Warframe has one of the deepest and most confusing stories in gaming. Most players jump in, fight enemies, unlock weapons, and still have no idea what's actually happening in its world. So today, I'm explaining the story of Warframe in the simplest way possible. No complicated lore terms, just the story itself. Because once you understand the lore, the entire game changes. Long before the events of the game, humanity was ruled by a vast and powerful empire known as the Orokin. They controlled the solar system, shaping entire worlds to their will. Their technology was centuries beyond anything we could imagine. Their cities were flawless, their bodies were perfected. The Orokin didn't just rule humanity, they believed they had surpassed it. They experimented with life itself, altering biology, bending science, and were shaping nature as if they were gods. To them, nothing was impossible. And that belief, that absolute confidence in their own perfection, would eventually lead to their own downfall. Seeking to expand beyond the solar system, the Orokin turned to something they barely understood: the void. A strange dimension where time, space, and reality behaved unpredictably. They sent a colony ship through it, filled with families, settlers, and children. But the ship never reached its destination. It vanished. When it finally returned, something was terribly wrong. The adults were gone, and the children had changed. Those children became known as the Tenno. They had gained powers no human should possess, abilities that defied logic, abilities that frightened even the Orokin. The Empire feared them, but also saw their potential. So instead of destroying them, the Orokin chose to control them. They created biomechanical suits called Warframes, living weapons designed for battle, and the Tenno learned to command them as extensions of their own bodies. Not soldiers, not machines, something far more dangerous. At that time, the Orokin were fighting a war, and they were losing. The enemy was a race of adaptive machines known as the Sentients. The Sentients could learn from every attack, adapt to every weapon, counter every strategy. Entire armies had failed to stop them. But the Tenno were different. They were unpredictable. They didn't fight like machines. They didn't think like machines. And that unpredictability changed everything. And the longer the war went on, the more dangerous the Sentients became. Each battle taught them something new. Each battle made them harder to stop. What began as a war the Orokin thought they could control slowly became a war they were desperate to survive. With the Tenno leading the fight, the Orokin finally won the war. The Sentients were defeated. The Empire was saved. And then, everything changed. In a single night, the Tenno turned on their masters and wiped out the Orokin rulers. Why they did it? it is still debated. Some believed they realized the Orokin were cruel tyrants. Others believe they were manipulated into rebellion. Whatever the reason, the result was the same. The Orokin Empire fell. And with their rulers gone, the empire that once seemed eternal collapsed almost overnight. The golden age of the Orokin didn't end with a final battle, it ended in silence. A silence that spread across the entire system as their reign finally came to an end. Thousands of years later, the solar system is fractured, unstable, and constantly at war. The empire is gone, civilization is broken, and new factions now fight for control of what remains. The Grineer, cloned soldiers bred only for war, expanding endlessly across the system. The Corpus, a powerful merchant cult obsessed with profit, technology, and control. And the Corpus see this broken system not as a warning, but as an opportunity. To them, every ruined world is a market waiting to be claimed. Every lost technology, a product waiting to be sold. Profit is their purpose, and they will strip entire planets to achieve it. And the infested, a living plague that spreads across worlds and consumes everything it touches. Each faction believes it deserves to rule. Each faction believes it will win. Unlike the other factions, the infested don't seek power or control. They don't negotiate. They don't conquer. They spread, consuming everything in their path until nothing remains but the infection itself. And in the middle of all this chaos, the Tenno awaken. Warframe isn't just a game about futuristic warriors. It's a story about fallen empires, ancient wars, and powers humanity was never meant to control. A universe shaped by forgotten history and by forces that still haven't revealed their true purpose. And this is only the beginning.